All right, we are recording. Welcome everybody to our Zoom leadership call. We are re-kicking off our calls. We're going to talk a little bit more on that toward the end of this Zoom session because we want to give some a little bit of tidbits on that information. But what we really want to do is get right into our call here. Before we do that, just wanted to welcome everybody back. Like I just said, this is going to be a regular occurrence. We are back as long as you guys support this. Jason and I haven't went anywhere. We've been here. We've been kicking butt and still building our businesses like so many of you. The calls just kind of went by the wayside a little bit because life got in the way for many. Our calls weren't attended. But there's so many new people since we've done our last call that I have a feeling that it's going to be back and we're going to just be rocking it for the foreseeable future. Do things a little bit differently. We're going to be doing them and recording them through Zoom versus our old format of the good old telephone and our free conference calling bridge. If we have a need for that, we may bring that back from time to time. But I think Zoom is a great way to see all your guys' pretty and cool looking faces and give you guys the ability to interact with us. Now everybody's muted except for Jason and David at the moment, but we will unmute people toward the end to ask any questions. Jason, man, it's been a long time since I've been on one of these calls with you, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to introduce our speaker because he obviously is your coach, which is awesome. And I will, turn it over to you for a minute.
Yeah, so thanks and welcome back. Happy 2018 if we haven't already said that to y'all. Like Jeff said, it's not so much that we didn't want to have the calls, just teams are growing so big. A lot of other teams are doing their own calls, so it got to the point where we were doing Monday, Tuesday, and a Wednesday call. So by all means, if you already have something going on, go ahead and keep those calls. And if you want to chime in every once in a while here or just view the recordings, that's awesome. I think everybody knows Jeff. Most everybody knows me. But maybe not everybody knows our guest speaker tonight. This is my personally sponsored coach right there. They have the same view I do. I sponsored that guy, and this guy sponsored me. So, that question probably comes up a lot. There was some change there. Originally, my sponsor was somebody else, and he left to do another business. But to be honest, Dave has been there from day one for me. One of my first privileges of Beachbody, I flew out to LA to do an infomercial for 10-Minute Trainer and do a beach workout with Tony Horton, and I still got the pictures where David welcomed me in his house, a day early, so I didn't have to pay for a hotel. And it's always been a great resource and supporter for me. I think Dave will tell you that he kind of coaches from the back seat. Like, he's not going to hound you down every day to make you do the work, but if you want to do the work, come to him and he'll give you the information. With that being said, he's one of our founding coaches, probably coach number 4. I know your number is not 4, but he was one of the first ones to sign up in the team. I always commend myself because I know the whole structure, like going all the way up to Carl's position. You got Carl, you got Rich Bell, you got Dave Martin, and we're right there, like 3 people from the top of the whole company. Jeff and I both wanted to talk to David because we were looking through the leaderboard this year, and David is like right up there in the top 20. And for a guy that's been doing this business 11 years, 3 months longer than me, to be up in the top 16, that's quite incredible. A lot of the other founders have dropped by the wayside. It's always neat for me when I go to a summit or something to see how big the summit has become and how little of the original people are still there. So superstar diamond, founding coach, millionaire, earner, 100 times over. But I think the big thing right now is just one of the top recruiters in the company. So that's what he's here to talk about. Dave Martin, my sponsor.
Yep. And before David, before I let you kick in, I just want to say one more quick thing. Okay. Jason said something that's very important. Okay. You heard him say that David is in the top 20 right now in the company. I think he's somewhere in the vicinity of number 16. And that is significant from the fact that I've gotten a lot of messages from individual coaches. Some of you may even be on saying, I can't do what you and Jason do, or I can't do what some of the top coaches do. I don't have, as much, spunk as you do, or I can't I can't copy what Lindsay Matway is doing or whatever. Guys, it's cool to see David in the top, 16 area, because David, as Jason said, is one of our founding coaches. He's not one of the people that you probably have seen on social media over and over again, like some of the other top coaches. And it's very neat because you're seeing somebody who's been in this business a long time rocking the business right now. And that's encouraging for myself. It's encouraging for Jason. And it should be very encouraging for you guys to see somebody other than the ones you're seeing on social media all the time rocking this business. And he's doing it from a spot maybe where you guys like to do it from. At home, you don't want the spotlight, but you want to make a great business for yourself and grow. That's where I think this story is very inspiring. We asked David to come today to talk a little bit about what he's doing to recruit, what he's doing to build his business right now. And then we're probably going to have David back in a couple of weeks to talk about how he trains his new coaches, what he's doing to get them going. Because that's the other half of it. You bring people in and you got to help them build their business. So without necessarily going into anything more, I'm going to turn it over to David Martin.
Hey, thanks, Jason, and thanks, Jeff, for amazing intro. I so don't deserve it, but I do want to talk to everybody tonight about recruiting. And I also know that for as many coaches are out there, recruiting boils down to what you're comfortable. I know that our lady coaches, our women coaches are fantastic on social media, but I found out really early. Nice picture. Your picture just shows up. I found that for myself, I couldn't really do social media because I'm 53 years old, and I'm just, anytime I did social media, if I didn't do it with my wife, nobody watched the videos. They weren't impressed with me. And I kind of wasn't impressed with myself, to be quite honest with you. So what I do is not necessarily what you should do. What you should do is in your heart. You should follow the path. But it does boil down to a couple of things. And I kind of play by this rule. Each day I want to put 2 new names on my list. I want to set 2 new appointments. And I want to give 2 presentations. If I can do that every day, and that, by the way, that's very easy to teach, but if I can do 2 by 2 by 2 every day, 5 days a week, I take Saturday and Sunday off. And now there's days that I struggle really hard to get my 2 by 2 by 2, but I know I'll make it up as long as I'm putting 2 new names on the list. I also find that because I'm a founding coach, there was a first 2 years of my coaching career that I struggled mightily. So if you guys are not struggling and you're just zippity-doo-dah, good for you, but that was not my plight. It took me 6 months to become a diamond coach. It took my wife 28 days to become a diamond coach. I struggled every step of the way. But as I have said to most of the coaches that I work with, I've always failed forward, and that's the beauty of this business, is failing forward. In other words, if I do my 2 by 2 by 2 each day, I just pat myself on the back. Now, I want to tell you about the 2 by 2 by 2. I'm going to break this down a little bit because for me, I give out 8 of these 3-packs each week. This is all I do. I give out 8 of these. I mail them, or I give them personally. I prefer to give them personally, but I give out 8 of these. I purchase 3 extra of these bad boys every month, and this has been my thing. Now, I do. If those of you men that are on that want to do this, you never give this out without name, email, and phone number. You don't do it. You don't give it out. That's the trade. The trade is I'm going to give you 3 samples, and I'm going to email you some phenomenal recipes, and I'm going to follow up with you in 4 days. And I basically tell people, look, if this isn't right for you, would you have the courage to tell me so? Yeah, there you go. You got that. Right? Nice. I like that. So see, Jason does this too. He puts his name and information all over these things on every one individually. I put my name and information. There you go. Thank you, Jason. Phone number, link to my site, and the whole 9 yards, right?
Well, the worst thing to happen is for somebody to walk away with the product that they love and then not know where to get it. So
right.
I think that's really important.
So I thank you for telling everybody that, because that was my next thing on my list, was to say, make sure your name is all over everything. And I just put it in a little plastic bag, which, oh, they're out of my reach. I put them in a little plastic bag, a little bow on the top, and I'm off and running. I always have these in my car. See, there you go. I always have these in my car in something like Jason just showed you that would, there you go. He is such a good coach. I'm telling you, he's the reason that I have a great team. But I make sure that that's out of the sun. Like, I don't want my product to be in the sun or to be in extreme cold. So if it gets really cold or really hot, I bring that in. So I'll bring it in, and I won't. But I always put it in a place where when I'm leaving, like where I have my keys, I'm going to put that, because I always want that. Now, a lot of coaches give out business cards. I'm not too big on business cards, because I get people to either text me and send me their email, or I write down their information. But remember, never give out samples with that. Now, you guys are probably wondering, why in God's creation am I 16th in the company right now? I'm just consistent. And that's all I'm going to say to you, because it just seems like in the last 6 months, all of a sudden, like, everybody that I had worked with or followed up with has decided they want to become a coach. Like, I want to become a coach. So I, like, starting in like November, I typically only sign about 10 to 15 coaches a month with this process. But all of a sudden it was 30, 40, and then last month it was 50 coaches. All right. So I'm freaking out. Like, why is this working so amazingly all of a sudden? So here's the only thing that I can tell you is that I get better every day that I do this, and I get faster with it every day that I do this, because I'm going to share something with you guys. So when I did the 2x2x2, and my wife was doing workout videos, and Courtney is on the call, who's one of my wife's coaches. My wife created 3,000 leads in one summer, and I created the same amount of leads by giving out samples and going to mixers in, business mixers in my community. And of course, I do live in a big city like Denver. So if you don't live in a big city, you may want to drive. And so what I did was I just got on the meeting sites online, and I found, entrepreneurs and businesses, and I went to those mixers, and I created the same amount of leads as somebody working social media. Okay. So does that mean that social media doesn't work? Absolutely not. Social media works. It totally works. There's some wonderful things that you can do with Instagram. Jason has some cool tips and tricks. But and also I will say that my social media was working really well when I was training for my first 100-mile race. But then once I accomplished it, it seemed to fall off. So it's like, I just didn't do so well on social media. So I'm here telling all you coaches that if a direction isn't working, if it's not helping you to make, and you got to kind of stick with your direction for, especially when it comes to social media, 6 to 8 months, you've got to be super consistent with it. If it's not working for you, what you then do, find something that does work, right? So for me, it was just, I've been doing samples and doing it old school since the very beginning. And I don't know why all of a sudden it's just taking off, because I've just been kind of this steady coach bringing people in. Okay. So I wish I could tell you guys, but I do want to share with you guys something that has really, really, really worked for me, because I really love people, so I tend to talk too much with people. So I want to share a couple of things with you guys that really saved me. And so make sure you guys all have a piece of paper out, because I mastered this. So when I gave out my samples, I say a couple of things. I would love to give you these samples totally for free, but there's only one obligation: that you will give me your name, email, and phone number, and we can set a date right now to follow up. Then I would use their name. So let's pretend it's Courtney, because I can see Courtney on my screen. So I would say, Courtney, the second promise is, if this isn't right for you, would you have the courage to tell me so? So Courtney, if this isn't right for you, would you have the courage to tell me so? Now, they must answer yes to both of those questions before I give out samples. Then after they hand out the samples, I tell them, listen, I can sell this product to you retail, or I can sell it to you wholesale. Would you like to save some money on the product? Yes. Okay, in order to do that, you have to become a coach. Now, I know that's a weird thing, because I don't really have the credentials to be anybody's coach. Okay. But I need to ask you I'm going to have you watch this video, and I need you to promise me two things. And this is a big one, guys. So once I get them on the phone, I'm talking to them, I'm going to send them a video, right? And I say to them, I say this with everybody. Would you tell me what you liked most about the video? Would you tell me what you liked most? Not what you think. The word like is so crucial. And then they have to answer yes. So I'd say, Courtney, would you tell me what you liked most about the video I'm about to share with you? And number two, again, if this isn't right for you, would you have the courage to tell me so? Okay? And I know that you know that I love this. I've made a lot of money doing it. But the reason that I want to be so clear with you, Courtney, is because if you don't love it, you may know somebody that would be awesome for my team. And I'm trying to help out 2 million people get in the best shape of their lives. And this product has really, really helped me. Okay. So you guys, that is the extent of my pitch. Now, once they watch the video, so I'll make sure they get the video link and they bring it up and I can hear it working. And then I ask them to pause it. And then I said, I'm going to call you back in precisely however long the video is, whatever video you guys pick out, by the way. Doesn't matter what video you use. Okay. So then when I call them back, I ask them the question, what did you like most about it? And guys, this is the crucial moment. This is what's made me millions of dollars. I just listen to their voice. Does their inflection go down or does it go up? And I'm going to do an exaggerate, right? Like yours. So I'm going to exaggerate. Okay. So somebody says, I really liked how happy everybody was. I really liked how happy everybody was. You see, it was just kind of a depressive, like I want to go slit my wrists, you know. Or they say something like, oh my God, are you working with the company that does P90X? I love P90X. Or I love, you know, one of the workout people, right? So if that first inflection, you got to really listen. If it goes up, they're really interested. If it goes down, I then say to them, well, Courtney, it kind of sounds like you're not thrilled with the possibility of becoming a coach. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you on a 30-day trial of this product at the coach price, and then we'll see how you do in 30 days. How does that sound? And I'm just quiet. Okay? What I've really, really learned, the difference between a top producing coach and the difference between a failing coach is their approach. And as soon as we hear somebody go, oh my God, I like it. I did the same thing. I just vomit on them. I tell them everything about the business. You know, I made so much money. It's crazy, blah, 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 blah. And you can too. But the real facts are the more precise that you are, and as soon as you hear that buying signal, oh my God, I really like it. The first thing I say is, Courtney, let's get you signed up. Let me send you a link, and you'll start your 30-day trial. Do you have any questions for me? Then I'm quiet again, right? I answer the questions. Let me get you signed up. Now, at that point, you guys, on the sign-up thing, and I know this is a little bit out of recruiting, but I think it's super important. If people, you're always going to have people that get paid next week, or they can't really afford the $152 or whatever, right? So it's super crucial that you guys create a system of follow-up, because the only reason I'm top in the company right now is I have impeccable follow-up. His fortune is in the follow-up, okay? So what I shared with you guys tonight is recruiting is all about exposing your business, okay? 2 by 2 by 2 every day, 5 days a week. Be religious about it. And you really don't have to worry about recruiting the entire world. Just do the consistency is the key, right? And then obviously once we get people into our sales funnel, we have a very specific process that you guys will develop that fits your personality, okay? I don't expect you to be like me, right? I expect you to take what I've got and see if it works for you. Now, the last thing I want to say, and then I'll turn it back over to the guys and any questions you guys have, is personal development. Because I know you guys, I know you struggle because I struggled, and I always thought that I knew what I was doing, but you'll probably never see me. Like right now I'm listening to .com secrets and expert secrets. I'm constantly listening to good audio, good books. I'm turning off the news. I don't need to hear what latest tweet Donald Trump made. I don't need to hear it. Like, I need to stay focused because I need to take care of my family, and I want to make it so they never have to worry about money again, right? Building your business. Yeah. See, we all become junkies of this stuff. There you go, Compound Effect, one of my favorite books. We all become junkies of this because it really works, the Millionaire Messenger. It just goes on and on. But all my successful coaches, including Jeffrey and including my brother from another mother here, all of them never, after I got them started right, they immediately started their teams. They took full responsibility. And all of my top coaches were just that. Like, I'm going to do it. And my final and last tip is Success Club 10. Work really hard. It'll take you 6 months to learn how to do it. But once you do it, it gets easier and easier and easier. Success Club 10 will move your business forward. It'll also get you in the mix for all the awards. I know that Jason is a millionaire coach. I know I am. I know Jeffrey is. We became a millionaire coach. Yeah, he's up there. We became millionaire coaches, guys, because we kept consistently doing the business and consistently improving ourselves. It's okay if you fall off the horse. The moment that you fall off this horse, you got to get back in touch with your personally sponsored coach, and you got to help. They've got to get you on track. Now, I think in a couple of weeks, I'll let Jeffrey or Jason say, I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk to you guys about my GSR. My GSR has changed dramatically over the last 2 years, dramatically. And it's made me a better coach because I don't know about all y'all, but every time I signed a coach, I was like, why are they not engaging with me? What's going on? I'm following everything that Beachbody is telling me to do. So in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to show you what I do. Now, again, take the best, leave the rest. I'm not an expert. I just do this consistently. You have to take everything that I'm saying, everything that Jason's saying, everything that Jeff says, and you have to mold it into your personality. That's what's going to make you great. Okay? So that's what I have tonight. Does anybody have any questions?
Before we get to questions,
okay.
First, a shout out to First, a shout out to Miss Heather Perkins. She's our fourth millionaire on this call.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Shout out.
Yeah, she's one of our rock star and our leaders on this team. So I wanted to make sure she got a shout out for that.
Wow. Yes.
And the really cool thing about what David said, and this is
Well, Christy too, right? He was asking about Christy.
Yeah,
Oh,
Christy's getting close. She's going to be at the Millionaire Club here probably in the next year, Christy, right? You know,
make sure this Christy Moore is on the line. She's a 7+ star diamond.
Yep. We want to give a shout out there.
Rock star.
So some of the things that David talked about tonight, guys, go back to and I met David back in 2010 in Hawaii on the Top Coach trip. That's where I met David.
Dirty Ditcher.
Yeah, the dirty ditching trip. But the things that David talked about tonight, the things that he discussed with you guys are things that were taught, man, in the original game plan when I first became a coach. This goes to show you guys that the methods, the high-tech methods that people are using from, buying leads to social media being where it's at, yeah, that's a measure. That's a measure of how you can build your business, but it's not the only way. Here I am. It's crazy to say this. In my 9th year as being a Beachbody coach, and I'm still doing some of the exact same things that David mentioned, and I'm still having some of the same success as I had back when I was growing back in 2011 and 12. Like David, I still I use social media. Maybe a little bit more than David, but I still go by what I call the belly-to-belly method of this business. I love to talk to people too. My wife says sometimes too much. I love to have conversations at my kids' school, at my kids' games, wherever I'm at. But I'm also a fan of social media, and I'm mixing them. Now, social media is changing so much. Some people would say it's toxic. Some people would say it's still ripe. And Jason mentioned this last night when we were talking. It's changing. It's changing. You just have to figure out which way it's best for you. I don't want to hear excuses that social media doesn't work, period, because it does. You just got to find the right method of communicating with people. Instagram is where I'm using the most right now, and that's different for everybody. So with that being said, I am going to unmute the lines. What I'm going to probably try to do, because I've unmuted them Zoom lines before and it can get very noisy, what I'm going to ask you guys to do is to raise your hand. I'm going to try to go through both screens. I saw Christy raise her hand first, so I'm going to unmute Christy first and give her the opportunity to ask a question. Jason and David, if you see somebody else raising their hand that I'm not seeing because we got screens full of people, let me know. But I'm going to unmute Christy first and give her the opportunity to ask David.
Right before you do it, I want to – I always take notes when I do these calls. That's my thing. And it takes me 2 minutes to go through it.
Yep.
But, yeah, this is amazing. Some of you people might not have heard the 222. Again, that's from the original game plan going back to 2008. That means add 2 new people to your list every day, set up 2 meetings or send them 2 videos, and then the last step is have 2 meetings with people once they've already seen the videos. Christina Richardson's also on our team. She went top coach the first year she was a coach, and she came in like March. So I've always been amazed at that. She was top coach, and she had 4 less months than anybody else to do it. So I'm not sure that's ever been duplicated. And it was really from this method. She created her list from the memory jogger and just had 1,000 names that she went through. And only when she got to the end of the list, she would call me. It's like, hey, Jason, what do I do now? David really touched home. Like, we fall off, but what he's doing here is not rocket science. And I think if I look back over my business, I would say 70% of the people that I've enrolled and brought forth has been through social media. Now it's changed through the years. MySpace, Facebook, YouTube, and now Snapchat, but then that's gone, and now Instagram. But 25 to 30% of the people that I have has always been face-to-face. So he's right, I used to carry around pictures, before and after pictures, and if I had a second, I'd be like, can I show you something crazy? And they're like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, look, I just lost 30 pounds. And well, actually, I still have that. Everything I do for a stupid reason. I'll show them like my business card, and I cut it in half, and then I can show them the before picture. I'm like, I lost 30 pounds. They're like, wow, that's great. They're always interested if you do it like in that fun, upbeat tone that David was talking about. The back of every business card, I've created a little, it's what I call a fitness prescription. So I talk to them like, hey, I think you would like the Shakeology and maybe hip hop abs because you like to dance. And then I always have space on every card so that I can put like a website to send them to. And then I take the second card and exactly what David said. I'll be happy to give you a Shakeology sample, but just let me get your phone number or email that I can contact you with. And I don't hound, like I don't need their address. I don't need zip code, social security number. Give me one or the other. And then it's up to you to follow back. If you send out the cards to people, right, give them one with the link, then you're dependent on them calling you back. But if you get their info, you'll call them back 100% of the time. So that's really good advice. Yeah, we all fall off. Jeff and I have fallen off these calls, you know, like I said, and that's why we're getting back. I had a real slow year last year. And what I teach for this business is you want to get in and you want to build volume and match that with your rank. A lot of times people are just like, rank. But now I got to the point where my volume is huge and my rank's fallen. So I got to get back into phase one recruiting, which is exactly what David's here talking about now. I think there's some really good techniques. Face-to-face is always going to be 25 to 30% of my business. I think I'm going more towards Instagram now. I just like the interaction. It feels like MySpace did 10 years ago and Facebook did 5 years ago. Jatenda Jackson just did a really, really, really good training on that. So I'll go ahead and put that in the chat because I think that's
good training, guys.
Do it, and that's pretty much what I have.
All right.
Yeah, great info, awesome. Dave. And this is amazing. Like 50 coaches last month because he's meeting people in the grocery store, having them do a free group, which is talk about a personal development. And then if they're in a personal development group talking about money, what is one of the 4 or 5 topics that comes in every personal development group? Oh, fitness, right? You're going to have your family, your fitness, your career, and your spirituality is the minimum in any personal development. So no matter which one you teach, there's always a lead into fitness.
Yeah, I wasn't really clear about that, but I did want to say to everybody that, like, I do challenge groups, but I typically do them in personal development because then I can see where people fall and I can recruit from that. So I can't begin to tell you how many personal development groups I've done with the compound effect. And I really absolutely – I haven't done a lot of fitness groups, to be truthful with you, because what I'm doing is I'm looking for that person that is really interested. And you guys are probably all going to wonder because I did retire. I've put enough money back to retire myself, but 2 years ago we had this little angel, and she has decided that daddy needs to make more money so she can go to college. And so that's the reason that I'm back out really pushing. I will say that you can build this business to a level and semi-retire. You totally can, because if you recruit the right people to begin with, which I finally feel like after 12 years, I'm recruiting the right people because I'm looking for the right type of people through personal development challenge groups and things of that nature. And I'm finally starting to recruit people that are top coach material that can really run their business, that really want to invest in becoming a better businessman or woman. And so that might, Jason, thanks for reminding me to talk about those groups, because that's probably a major part of my recruitment is when I meet somebody, I may talk to them about a personal development group that I'm doing because I'm looking to become better at what I do. So thanks.
I think the free groups are the trick to this business. I just talked to a local girl, Kayla Elizabeth, and I'm like, hey, you do Beachbody and you're Erie? There's 3 of us. So, we met for coffee with my wife.
There's 3 of us.
Up and up. And she's talking about 80-day obsession, right? I've got this stuff printed out. Like I'm here. I'm actually doing the 80-day obsession timed vegan diet for myself. And she's like, yeah, I'm getting a bunch of people. But then I asked them and they don't have money. Well, we have this whole thing called A Little Obsessed. It's a week of 80-day obsession that you can start a week-long free challenge group every week of the month or one week of the month, and then recruit people from that to go into the paid challenge group once you provide value. And Dave has been very good at doing that with personal development. It doesn't have to be about fitness, but it's like whatever your thing is. Like right now I'm doing a lot of hip hop abs to get up early, get the cardio going. I feel more energetic. I'm going to do like some sort of free group where they get Beachbody on demand for the 15-day trial for free, have them run through the workouts, show them what I'm doing for vegan eating. And if they want to stay, that's great. To do the 30-day group, it's going to cost, or just stay in Beachbody on demand. That's all I had. I don't want to take up too much time. We're about half the hour.
Okay, so we have questions, right?
Yep. I unmuted you, Christy. You got the mic first.
Thank you so much, David, for doing this call. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jeffrey, and everyone on this call. This call's awesome. This is so great. I have a question for your recruiting. Do you feel like you get most of the people from stopping into different businesses in the area, or they come mostly from your personal development groups? What would you say the percentage is? And do you just, do you just go into the businesses, or do you call first? How do you start that conversation? Okay,
so typically where I found a hotbed is with both of my son's schools. So I kind of got involved in, doing a lot of the parent groups in my son's schools because, and talking to the principals about doing personal development groups. That I'm kind of a personal development junkie. Like, yes, I'm one of those guys that spent $50,000 and had a day with Tony Robbins, and did not take a picture with him because I said, I'm not here to get a picture with you. I'm here to learn. Right. That's not the most important thing in my life, is to have a picture. Now, I think my wife was like, that was the dumbest thing you ever did. You should have got a picture with him. Right. But I'm a junkie in the sense that I just got back from Vegas and Grant Cardone, right? His massive, event that he had, and he's so not me. But I wanted to go to one of his things because I wanted to see what his message is. And his message is all about making money, which is great. I mean, I'm sure that resonates with a lot of people, but I'm really about making a difference in people's lives and helping people to find their why, to really find their why, to finally put to rest all their demons of the past. And so I would say that 50% of my recruiting, to get to your question, 50% of my recruiting comes from handing out the samples, and 50% comes from my personal development groups. And I think I do really well with those because, and to be honest with you, I do private Facebook groups for those if people are not in the area, but I prefer to go to a library and meet, because by going around the room and talking about each chapter with the men and women, I really get a personal sense of the kind of person that they are and what they're struggling with. And if I were to recruit them, what are going to be my major hurdles, right? And I don't try to recruit everybody. I'm trying to pick the very best, right? And so I think, if I could do more one-on-one groups, it's so much better than over the internet, because I get to, really get a sense for those people. And remember, you guys, in order for you to keep Diamond, you really only need 8 people on each leg of a business center and 2 emeralds in each. Once I've done that, I've never, ever lost Diamond in a particular center, right? So then the goal then goes, how can I duplicate that, right? How can I duplicate somebody recruiting 16 people in each leg and 2 emeralds in each leg? How can I duplicate it? And it seems momentous and really difficult, but people come based on you as their coach, understanding their why, and really they know that you're in it. And the best person that I've personally recruited, Chad and Katie Grau, Chad Grau, I can tell you that all of my top coaches, and I can go down the list on the ones that I personally recruited, they came into the business. Chad came into the business. He goes, I didn't want to sign up 6 months ago because I needed to get my team site done before I started. And my jaw dropped. Like my jaw dropped. I went, what? You want to start a team right away? He goes, I'm totally in this 100%. I'm in it to win it. I said, how did you even learn about team sites? And he goes, well, I've been reading all these books about network marketing, and I think I got the idea. I didn't do any of that. I'm like, oh my God, please sign up. Please be my coach, you know. So my passion, right? So like my passion has been, how do I find those people? And there's people that come out of other network marketing companies and they're disenfranchised. I totally get, there's a whole group there. But I think the best group to recruit is still the single moms. I still think it's the single moms here. I'm not saying us men don't, bring it. But the best men that I've recruited are the men that want to quit their job and they're so fed up and they really, really want to earn an extraordinary income. But I still love those single moms. My wife was one of them. And I think moms are just so amazing because they really want the best for their kids and they really have that why so deep. I mean, they gave birth to these kids, everything, right? There's single moms are like superhuman. And I want to say too that you want to find these single moms, and believe it or not, Lindsay Matway was a single mom when I got her cancellation and called her. And she just is like, I can't do it. I'm failing. I'm like, give me 6 months. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. You can do it. And so I hope that kind of answered your questions, but the big keys is really recruiting based upon really having a great understanding of why. What would $1 million a year do for you? Well, everybody laughs when I say that, but it's true. Like, you really got to know where that money's going, and you really got to, I just showed you a picture of my little girl. You guys think I'm going to kick ass you think I've kicked ass so far. Now my why is super heightened because I never want my little girl to worry about money. I never want it's the first time I've ever thought about, wait a minute, she's going to need some guy for money. No, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? I'm obsessed now. Like, I really need to make this happen at a higher level. And I'm really also pleased. I can tell you that there's so many people in my downline that make more money than I do. So that's pretty awesome. That's job security, right?
I have one more question.
Sure.
What would be your top video that you'd send, your top couple videos that you send on recruiting when you do send the video?
Okay, so I love everything with Darren O'Lean and Shakeology videos. So if it has Darren O'Lean in it, I just love that guy. I love that guy. Okay, I will send workout videos if I feel that the workout video will relate. So if somebody tells me about Shaun T in our talk, then I'll use a Shaun T video. If somebody tells me about, I met Shalene, I'll use those videos. But I primarily use the business video so they can learn about Beachbody as a business. Because I think Beachbody still does the most amazing job with their videos, right? So my go-to ones are anything with Darren O'Lean and Shakeology, because I love it. Anything with the on-demand thing, because I love that right now. And anything, and then the video that we have that teaches people about coaching and what it really means. So those are my go-tos. And just like Jason, who did this amazing thing, where we can all have the links, to all of our products and services. I like to put those links on my phone, and I just create a contact on my phone that says Shakeology video or, coach recruiting video, so then I can send a link. But I'm going to tell you guys the biggest mistake, never send that video before you talk to them. You got to get them on the phone. You got to get them ready for the video. don't, because I get all these coaches telling me, well, I've sent out a lot of videos and nobody's watching. Nobody's watching, right? So, well, yeah, they're not watching because you're not getting them distracted. And I don't know if it was Jason or Jeff, and because I heard their ESPN app go off because I'm a huge baseball fan. So, but have you noticed that my phone has not ringed this whole entire time? I turn off all my alerts because here's what I'm constantly doing. Constantly being distracted. I'm constantly being distracted from my list of things that I got to get. I'm starting my list for tomorrow. So I got to get all my lists done before anything pops up on my computer or pops up on my phone. I got to do it, right? I got to get everything done. And then I can mess with my Chicago Cubs, and I can turn on my alerts and, somebody scored. But I'm telling you guys, the number one thing is distractions that will kill your business and kill your time. So just try to limit your distractions.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Are there any other questions? Thank you, Christy, for kicking things off.
We love Christy.
Are there any other questions by a show of hands?
Yeah. Dave, I got my picture with Tony Robbins when I spent $50,000.
Yeah, you're a stud.
Jason has posted in the comment section, if you guys don't have the chat, if you go to the bottom of your screen, you click on chat, you'll see a window open up. He's posted a bunch of the links to the videos he was talking about, from Jatana Jackson's video to some of the videos.
Yeah, Jatana talks about Instagram really, really good. This other girl I was talking to the other day, Kayla, she asked me these questions, and she's a 22-year-old girl. She should know this by the back of her hand. And I'm like, I know this because I just watched Jatana's video. Dave talks about, passing out samples, and I learned this because when I was with Dave and we were at the mall buying his first iPhone, he was talking to people. So I used to carry around a backpack with all my samples and wear logo gear everywhere. If you watch that link, you'll see in my top coach video how, it's what got done. And you go back to the old corporate sales training, Larry Zimberg, he was one of the ones that said, I created the coach store because I was the first one to wear logo gear everywhere. So then Beachbody started making money off of it. And then I put in links not only for coaching codes, but there's one called Beachbody Coach Links. So there's a coach in Canada that does it. It does a really good job. So if you have iPhone or Android, you can use that. So just the links that I put.
Jason did all that stuff first. And I will be definitely telling you that is the truth. He did.
I don't get commissioned, but I think I helped to inspire it. And it was silly that they didn't have it because it's such a brand name. The only thing they ever had was P90X t-shirts that had a logo this big.
I know. It's true.
Absolutely. Guys, any other show of hands questions you want to talk live?
Oh, wait.
Was that Jeff Owen?
Yeah, Jeff Owen. Let me unmute you, Jeff. Go ahead, buddy.
Thanks, Jeff and Jason, for doing this. I appreciate it. David, thank you for taking your time, and I'm sure you're a busy dude. I've always heard that the follow-up isn't the gold is in the follow-up. How do you know who to follow up with and when, and I guess how do you track that or keep on top of that?
Okay.
That's my biggest struggle right now.
I totally get it. Okay, so what I do is I have a 4-star rating for everybody that I put in my follow-up. And by the way, everybody goes in the follow-up, and the other thing that I do is I say, you'll stay in my follow-up and I'll keep following up with you until you either give me 2 leads or you do one of our programs. And people laugh. They go, oh no, I got a stalker. I go, yeah, you got a stalker, because it's so important that you understand that coaching it's the calling, right? It's like you really, really want to help people succeed in every aspect of their life. And there isn't a guru out there that, like Tony Robbins, there's none of them that says fitness is not the number one importance. Matter of fact, Tony spends a lot of money on his fitness every year to stay in the top peak condition, right? So we all know that. So I do a 4-star rating. So if I had a really, really bad call, I'd put a 1 star on them, but I would ask them in an email later on, thank you for your time. I realize this isn't right for you right now. I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Number 1, would it ever be right for you in the future? And it's okay for you to say no. And number two, after watching everything, could you refer a couple people to me that might really enjoy this? So that's what I do with star number ones. Star number twos are people that I think, you know, it wasn't a really, really great call, but there was some positive moments in it. But overall, you know, it's similar to my star ones. But the only thing I will say to them is, I'm going to bug you to try one of these programs. Remember, it's 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Star three, you want to give somebody 3 stars. They really need to do these programs, but something's holding them back. And so I want to help them find their why, find why they haven't ever moved on anything. Whether or not they buy a product from me or not, I want them to know that I care and that I want them to do it. Now, keep in mind, 2s and 3s, I'm always asking for referrals. Star 4 is somebody I had a super positive call with, but something's really, really holding them back, either finances or money or their why, or they've failed before and they don't feel like they can get through this. And so that's how I do it. I rank them and then I create follow-ups for each of those star ratings. Does that help?
It does. What app are you using or like, how do you manage the, so you get a notification or something like, so you know, hey, I got to be talking to this guy or this 4-star or whatever.
Sure. So I use a super expensive piece of software and I don't really recommend it for every coach. But I use Infusionsoft. But I just, I had a fantastic meeting with this young man, Russell Bronson, at this event. I pulled him aside and talked to him. And I'm reviewing ClickFunnels. And I think that here's why I really, really like it, because so far, like I'm diving deep into it tomorrow. So far, the reason I like ClickFunnels is it looks pretty easy to use and it can start out really simple for you and it can get more complex. Infusionsoft is going to take you 6 months to a year to learn. And I started using it so long ago that, you know, but I think I might switch to ClickFunnels, and I'll be honest with you because I really think that it's something that my team could duplicate, you know, and I'm always looking, you know, for that. You know, the other thing I really like about ClickFunnels is you can set all these reminders up for yourself about this, and you get these little emails or text reminders if you tie it into Twilio to you, like, hey, Dave, don't forget to call Jason today because Jason is going to teach you how to tie your hair in a bun like his. That kind of stuff. I got you. You got your head down right now. Look, dude, I don't have any hair, so forget about that. You'll never do that again. So, okay, so do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, try to find something that's inexpensive. And I don't recommend Infusionsoft because it's super expensive.
And Jeff, until you are at a point where you are ready to invest back in that, you know, you can use good old pen and paper to schedule your day and then get your smartphone up and have notifications set up to remind you to call back and all that.
Yeah, by the way, I get more done with this book, my journal, than I do any reminders.
Yep. You don't have to spend the money when you're still trying to get your business off there. It's a great system as you want to, you know, get yourself more automated, but don't let that be a hindrance to any of you. You know?
Amen, Jeff. That's a good thing to say.
Write things down and set notifications up on your smartphone.
Right. And like if I don't get to somebody, I move them to the next day. And if it turns into 4 or 5 pages, then so be it. You know, but this is free. It just costs me pen and paper. I get more done with that than I do my darn infusion that I'm spending like $500.
Yeah, I've done the Infusionsoft. I've done Office Autopilot. They're both like $500 a month. It's confusing to learn. Then you got to pay somebody to get it in, and then you got to update and modify it, and it just becomes tenacious. Instead of something like Infusionsoft, once you move into this market, and you don't have to because Excel works right now. You know, if you're the computer guy, if you're a paper guy, use the paper book that David had, or a cheaper version is Teamsy. Works really well and helps with follow-ups. And the other one is automatic
CEO.
Automatic CEO are both affordable $20 versions of customer database like Infusionsoft, which I wouldn't recommend you go into. In terms of ClickFunnels, those are a great idea. I'm about to institute a funnel system, but you really don't need to purchase the expensive funnel system. I'm not sure how much that one is, Dave. There's a lot that are about $100 a year, but you can always use WooForms with Google Sheets behind it, and that does just as good.
Yeah, it really does. And then, Rob, the other thing you can do is you can say, Siri, follow up with Rob tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Yep.
I don't like Siri so much, but hey, Google, take a note to call Dave Martin.
Right.
Yep. I have a Google.
Sorry, I can't take notes yet.
Jason,
No.
I heard you. It heard you. Mine.
Siri, set a reminder to call Rob tomorrow at 9 a.m.
I mean,
So what you just heard, you just
Yeah.
heard my Google at home respond to Jason. Those things are great.
Yeah.
Delete this reminder.
Yeah, I'm deleting the reminder.
Hey, Google, turn off my office fan light.
Right.
Sure, turning the office fan light off.
You rock.
So Jeff, there's a number of different ways to do it that is free to more expensive. It just don't let that be a hindrance or stop you. You know, if anything, what David just did with his smartphone, because I know you got a smartphone, we all do. You know, basically use that, utilize the ability and let that, that's what I use. A majority is my smartphone, and I use automatic CEO still that Jason mentioned. You know, I still love that. You know, what I'm seeing on this call, before I take the next question, is I'm seeing a lot of you guys who have been with us for a long period of time and still want this business to take off. And that's inspiring. You know, I'm looking at Jeff, you know, you just asked a great question. You've been a coach for a while. Mike McCormick's in here. You know, I'm seeing Angie's here. Hey, Angie. You know, I'm seeing a lot of you guys who I know can make this business explode, can do this. You're still here after all these years. Dallas, what's up, man? It's been a long time. There are so many of you that are capable of doing the exact same thing that myself or David or Jason have done. You just haven't necessarily taken that one step yet. But I know you will. You're still here to learn. This business is not changed very much over the last 8 years. It's still about something that I love, and then obviously you guys still love because you're still coaches, and that's still health and fitness. A lot of businesses have come and gone. You know, this wine thing's already dying. There's so many different things out there that are come and gone. Still here. We are still here. So don't complicate things. Just talk to people. Talk about your love, your health and fitness, and we're just giving you a few ways to do that.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever leave because, I mean, I had one of my coaches tell me that she was on the verge of suicide.
Oh.
I'm like, okay, I'm locked.
You know, and that's what – think of how many different lives you've changed, Jeff, and didn't even realize that you've done that, let alone the person that talked about that.
Exactly.
You know, we all go through rough times in our life. Hell, I've had a very rough kickoff of 2018, a very rough 2000. You know, I lost a brother-in-law to cancer a couple weeks ago. Life gets in the way. It happens. But do you let that keep you down? No, you don't. Fitness is still going to be there. You're still going to have a need for it in your own personal life. So why not share that and help other people do the same things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You know, my income is drastically down because of rank alone. You know, I've got all the volume in the world. And I think with the senior people that we see here that are getting their business started again, it's great because we've got accumulated volume. That's the advantage that you have for being a veteran in this business. So, you know, who wouldn't want the position to go back in and build a team that's been around for 2, 3, 4, 10 years? It's quite a blessing to do it. And really, I'm just going back to the fundamentals. Like, I'm doing the workout that I want, that makes me feel good. I talk about doing those workouts. I show people the results from that. That generates some traffic, and then you help them by doing the program themselves. And I think Success Club's super important. It's a great goal to measure yourself by. And if it comes down to it, I would just assume get somebody on the free trial of Beachbody On Demand. It doesn't necessarily provide a challenge point right off the bat. But I worked with Jeff for nearly a year before he ever bought a product from me and became a coach. So I think it's about establishing relationships and long-term. Those are going to be more important than the Success Club points. I still think it's a great benchmark. Success Club 5 should be everyone's goal. And once you get to Success Club 10, like Dave says, now you get all these trophies behind you, which are great. There's free leads for doing that. It's a huge thing to do. But I think as soon as you get caught up in like it's a point, not a person, that's where I lost some love for the business.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's why this last couple of months I've been so busy, because it's like I want to get to everyone that I recruited personally, and I want to spend some time with them. And I know that you guys, if you guys have been to Summit, you'll see people that do 2,000 Success Club points. And I just sit down and go, wait a minute, this has gotten crazy. I mean, I can still be the top earner in the company. And by the way, you guys, if I would have done 2x2x2 every day, I would be the top coach in the entire organization. There's days that I haven't done it. I'm going to be honest with you, but the key is, I want to make sure that every one of my coaches and every one of my downline coaches, they have the support they need. And the only way to do that's like Jason just said, you be personal and help people. But at the same time, you guys are going to learn about my getting started right and some of the things that I say. So tune in next time, because we're going to have some cool stuff we're going to talk about.
Yep. Guys, we're going to close out because we've been on an hour. But before we do that, just a couple little items and then one housekeeping item regarding kind of the future of these calls. Guys,
housekeeping.
Kind of what Jason kind of alluded to, that, some of us have hit rough patches or taken, maybe let things stop us over the last little bit. It comes down to finding the love again of what made you fall in love with Beachbody. Don't get pulled in all these 101 different directions that you see these coaches doing, and you want to try to do a little bit of everything, because you end up doing just that, a little bit of everything. Find the love. Find out what you love about Beachbody, and get back to those basics. That's what I'm doing. That's what Jason's doing. That's obviously what David's doing. And you guys will see you'll see yourself that much farther this time next year, because a lot of your faces I'm seeing on here, I've seen lights above them pop up over the last hour. Maybe a renewed love for what you want to do going forward. And going forward is just that. What I'm going to do over the next series of a few days here is, in some of the groups you found this meeting, whether it's a Spartan Union 2.0 or maybe, Extreme Team or some of the other pages that some of you leaders have posted, I'm going to be asking you, how frequent do you guys want us to bring back these calls? Because what we want is this. We want 50 pretty voices to be on these Zoom calls and another 300-400 people to watch the recordings. It's going to be up to you guys with team. Those of you who have coaches, when we post the replay, to make sure your team sees this and watches it, because this is how you're going to grow your team, is by sharing the information. So we're going to be asking, how often do you want these live callers? David's going to be back in 2 weeks to talk about getting started right. You guys, some of you might wanted to know what he meant by GSR. That's what it means, getting started right. And how he gets his coaches started. But we're going to have other people we're going to bring on. We're going to bring other individuals. Jason and I have a lot of relationships over the years with a lot of coaches, from people like, Mindy Wender, people like, maybe even we could possibly get Lindsay Matway to come join us one time again. We have relationships that we can bring some of these top coaches, and maybe some of the new leaders you're following that you want to hear from. We can make anything happen as far as that. So we want to know what you guys want, what you guys would love to get from these calls. But the key is, we need you guys to come and attend these calls. If this call is not if this time is not the right time, because, whatever, we can change them up on a weekly basis, bi-weekly. We want to try to get regular. So everybody understands that. But we're going to be giving you guys the freedom to give some information back. So with that, I think we're going to close it out. Jason or David, any final comments?
You guys,
one of the upcoming calls I really want to do is, even if we don't get her on, is to Lynn's method, because she is one of these coaches that gets 200 points a month, and her plan is personal but yet automated. And even if I don't get her on, I'd love to talk about that. I think it fits in great with the free program that Dave talks about. But then the way she runs her challenge groups is pretty neat too. So
absolutely
coming forward.
Yeah, and like I said, build it the way you want to build it. I tried the automation. I just noticed that I wasn't getting a lot of traction, and I seem to do better when I when I recruited, person to person, but I'm always willing to listen to it. And the gal that you're talking about is super engaging. So like when her videos come on, you're like so engaged. Oh, wow, she's on again. But when my videos come on, people are running to the bathroom. It just never worked for me. Sorry. But I'm so excited, you guys. And I'm so thrilled that all of you came on the call tonight. And I hope that a couple of my things resonated with you guys, and you will go for it this year. I'm going to be in Indianapolis, so I'd love to see all you guys in Indy. That's my home state. I went to IU, so I'm going to be there at Summit this year.
Awesome. We'll see everybody in Indianapolis, but we'll see you guys well before that on our series of calls coming up. Everybody say hi to Chester, Jason's dog. And yeah, we'll get Tulin on, and he's referring to Tulin Emery. She actually spoke at our leadership retreat this past October in Florida. Amazing. And we'll get her on as well. I know we can make that happen, Jason. So with that said, everybody have a great night, a great week ahead. Don't be handicapped by any of your fears or restrictions. The way you build this business is just simply by winning each day, one by one. Don't look at things 6 months down the road. Win each day one by one. And how do you do that? Well, David gave you a very quick, easy way to start that, the 2 by 2 by 2. So with that, good night, everybody. Cheers, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Thanks, Kayla, for showing up.